I'm the bad guy for criticizing my daughter-in-law. I'm 16, male. I'm retired and living with my wife, who recently retired as well due to health issues. I retired earlier when my youngest son completed his degree about 14 years ago. Our country currently has a housing crisis, so my son and his wife rented when they started their marriage. When my wife and I noticed that we were dipping into our emergency fund and our savings was getting depleted, we asked our son and his wife to move in since the house is going to them when we pass away. They both have stable jobs, and my daughter-in-law has other side businesses that allows her to financially support her own parents as well. We belong to a culture when it's customary to take care of your parents when they get old. They move in and have been covering all expenses which help us keep our savings intact. They pay for groceries, electricity, water, internet, our more expensive medications, and everything else around the house. They also pay for our annual property taxes. They also help around the house when they aren't working. One thing I don't like is their style of living. They both work from home, and they converted one of the separate rooms into an office. And I hate how cluttered it can get when I walk past. I told my son that my daughter-in-law should spend extra time straightening up both their desks after work to keep the room organized. At one point, I walked past the bathroom while my son was walking out, so the door was ajar and I saw my daughter-in-law lounging on the bed, legs akimbo. I told my son it was unbecoming of the woman to behave like that. My son said she isn't like that in the living room, but feels comfortable to lounge a bit freely in the privacy of their bedroom. My son and daughter-in-law have been distant with me since, with my daughter-in-law barely speaking to me at all. My wife spoke to both of them to ask if they are okay, and my daughter-in-law said she felt I was being misogynistic and that she didn't feel comfortable interacting with me anymore. She has also said to my wife that if she doesn't end up feeling better about this situation, she will look into renting again and will move out and end the financial support to focus on their own living expenses. This is sometimes we cannot afford to happen, as it has been easier with them talking over all expenses, but I still think I'm right, and they should take my feedback. So, am I the bad guy? Am I the bad guy for being rude to the dogs of a lady I'm pet sitting for and yelling at her? Hello, I'm female 24. I'm a pet sitter and recently got a client who needs some regular pet sitting as she goes down of town for the weekend sometimes. She has 6 dogs, very friendly dogs. After my second weekend there, she called me and thanked me, but she said she was concerned about one thing she saw on the nanny cam footage. I thought of what I could have done wrong. She said that when I sat down on the couch and all the dogs were trying to get on me and bend and slobber in my face, that I turned away from them and tried to nudge them away. She said it was important that someone not turn away from her dogs when they show excitement, since she wants to encourage them to be friendly. I said, "Oh, so basically I should let the dogs breathe and slobber in my face when they want to?" Thought she see the absurdity of that, but she basically just said, "Yeah, exactly," seeming to think nothing of it. The next time I went over, she had me sit down on the first step of the staircase with all the dogs around, and one predictably started licking and panting in my face. She sort of laughed and said, "See, don't turn away, he likes you, and you will learn to be fond of it." I did my best to hold my breath, but after all the dogs had their turn, I was ready to puke. I held it in as best I could until she was out of the door, and then gagged and felt sick for half an hour. The next visit the same thing happened. and this time I did wince and turn around, which she got upset at. I told her that their breath stinks and I can take it, and she got offended and said that they clean their teeth and it smells exactly as dog breath should smell, and that a real dog person would embrace that and accept their affection. I ended up yelling, "Stop trying to get me to smell your dog's breath, you weirdo," and storming out, probably leaving her scrambling to find someone else for the weekend to cover. I am sad to lose a consistent high-paying client, but I just couldn't take that anymore. I told a friend about it, and he said, "Well, she does have a point that you can act all averse to dogs and turns away from them in that industry." But I just thought there a big difference between showing enthusiasm for dogs and for their breath. So, am I the bad guy about this? Am I the bad guy for missing a friend's party to attend a more expensive event? Hello, female 19. I'm an international college student studying in Italy. My best friend Lila is also an international student but from a different country. We became good friends through the college orientations. We are both second-year med students. And then decided to become roommates since neither of us were able to get cheap accommodation near campus. Lila is not rich but extremely well-to-do. Right after getting our apartment, her family bought her a second-hand car because it was more convenient than using public transport. Which it is, because what takes 15 minutes by car takes 50 minutes by metro or trams. But my family will never done the same for me. If it helps, we split grocery expenses and rent. She pays for gas and car stuff, and she's always the one treating me when we eat out. I drive us to and from college and cook. When buying me college clothes, which was the first time I bought myself clothes since pre-COVID, I made sure to buy clothes that were both comfy and presentable. About a month into us being roommates, she strikes a conversation with me about my fashion sense, saying, "It is so much better than mine. And where did you get it from? And can you teach me some style?" I was flattered, but upon her insistence, I agreed to teach her some style. We planned our outfits daily and thought of it as a good bonding exercise. Lila, from the first day that the lessons took place, clicked pictures of our outfits, made short videos of us, and posted it on Instagram. She said she's always wanted to attend a Fashion Week show, and that posting on Instagram will help us to be able to attend one. Fast forward to about 6 months ago, Lila excitedly tells me that she managed to snag tickets for the both of us to attend Milan Fashion Week, which happened in February. We were super elated and couldn't wait for it because it's a once-in-a-lifetime chance. One of our other really good friend Liam's birthday was the previous week as Fashion Week, and he invited us for the party that was supposed to happen on a day when Fashion Week was. The week of his birthday is the week before Fashion Week and also the week of our last exam of the semester. His party had a theme that all four of us in our friend group loved. Of course, we had to decline. He started to curse out of saying that Fashion Week is a stupid rich people event, that we wouldn't fit in with the stinky rich and snobs, and that France is rich enough for us to miss a day for a Fashion Week to attend to his party. We haven't told him about our plans before he planned his birthday, but he said he kept it on that day because the other invitees will leave for the semester break to their homes. We apologized and said we will make it up to him, but he just wouldn't hear us. He spoke to me separately afterwards and said that I didn't even pay for a ticket and that I could miss it and attend his party, while my friend attended alone. I had promised my friend we'd go well in advance, so I refused. He hasn't spoken to me since, so Am I the bad guy about this? Write in the comments below. Am I the bad guy for forcing my beliefs on my sister's children? My sister's children Harry, 9, and Katie, 7, spent the night with us last week after her husband fell down the stairs and had to go to hospital. I'm currently pregnant with a baby girl. I'll be honest, I do believe in traditional gender roles. I understand this isn't popular opinion and isn't for everyone, and I definitely don't think anyone should be forced into living the way we do. But I enjoy taking care of my husband while he works hard to provide a life for us. My sister is a complete opposite of me. High power career. Her husband is a primary caregiver to the kids and took time off work when they were little. He's a plumber, but even though he only does occasional freelance jobs for friends, family, because my sister earns enough that he doesn't need to work full time. I don't judge them on their lifestyle, and I didn't think they'd judge ours. The kids were playing outside while I was making dinner. And as I was making more than usual, I asked Kate to come in and help me set the table. Harry asked if I would tell him too, but I didn't need that much help. A while later, Harry got bored out there by himself and again asked if he needed any help. But by then, we were almost done. Everything seems okay. But when I took the kids home after their dad left hospital and my sister asked if they had a good time, when she was told that I only asked Katie to help set the table and not Harry, she wasn't pleased. Once the kids had gone inside, she said she wasn't happy with me forcing my beliefs onto her kids. I don't think I did force my beliefs on anyone. I didn't refuse Harry's help because he was a boy, but because I didn't need both of them helping me. And also, as I'm soon going to be mother to a baby girl, I thought it would be nice to spend some one-on-one time with little girl. I wasn't thinking about girls should do this and boys should do that. I just did what worked in the moment. So, am I the bad guy? Am I the bad guy for not saying to paying for my brother fiancé daughter to go to private school? My brother, Sab, we are siblings, this is relevant later, has 2 children with his ex-wife Maddie. They have Teddy and Rosie. I have a daughter, Leah. All the kids go to the same private school. For the past 2 years, Sab has been dating Casey. Casey has a daughter, Hannah. They've been slowly blending families for a while, spending weekends, holidays with the kids at each other's homes, etc. And to their credit, they done their best to make it smooth. They got engaged a couple of months ago after finding out that Casey is pregnant. And Casey and Hannah will be moving in with Sab and Teddy during the summer. This means that Hannah will have to change schools. For context, Sab makes good money, but not enough to afford to put kids through school comfortably. To avoid him taking money out of the funds for the kids set up by his dad, I offended to pay for Teddy and Rosie's fees. Sab wanted to pay me back in installments, but I said no. Casey invited me to coffee, which I thought was odd, but I went. Once there, Cassie said she wouldn't be able to pay for Hannah's to attend the same school as all kids next year, and she was hoping I'll be able to help out like I do for Teddy and Rosie. She said taking the kids to school and activities will be a nightmare if they weren't all in the same place. Not true. And she worried it will create a divide between the kids. I admit I was in shock and my brain was working but not faster than my mouth, and the only thing that came out was, "I barely know you." I immediately apologized, but Casey was already offended. She went on to say I can't expect her to set her children up to be isolated, and I said the only one expecting anyone here was her. And incorrectly at that, because I was not going to fork out hundreds of thousands of pounds. She said I should be willing to help since I helped Sab's kids. I said that was different, and Casey said why. I wasn't related to them either. I thought that was incredibly disrespectful to the relationship that I had with Sap for most of our lives, and that I've always had with Teddy and Rosie, who has pretty much been like extra kids to me. I told her I didn't owe her or her kid anything, and that her shameless and child man was embarrassing to me, if not her, so I was leaving. I called Sap on the way home and told him everything. Sap said he had no idea that Cassie was planning this, and after he spoke to her, he apologized on her behalf. However, he also said that Casey is now rethinking the move. Apparently, she says she doesn't see why she should move Hannah from a school she is happy in to be treated as second rate. Everyone I have spoken to says I shouldn't feel guilty, but I'm worried that Casey not moving will mean Sap isn't able to be a present father to his new child, and that will feel like my fault. Am I the bad guy for having a night off from visiting my boyfriend in a hospital? On Tuesday, my boyfriend had an accident at work. He has a broken foot and leg. His boss called me at 4 p.m. and I went straight to the hospital. I stayed by his side until midnight when he was going to sleep and made a trip to our flat and back during that time to bring him an overnight bag. Wednesday morning, he had surgery at 8 a.m. I called the hospital for an update and they said I could visit from 2 to 8 p.m., regular visiting hours. I told what happened and went up there that afternoon. I stayed with him for about 4 hours. This day was probably the hardest so far. He was in an awful mood, understandably, as he was in a lot of pain and probably feeling very angry at the situation. I am not ignoring that. But he kept acting as if I couldn't do anything right. I cried all the way home this night. I visited Thursday evening, similar to Wednesday in the sense that I wasn't doing anything right. Bought him a burger and he complained about where I got it from. Plus I brought up extra things from our flat that he asked for, as he was told this day that he will have to stay in 7-10 days for another operation. Friday evening, his friend was there. To this time, which was easier as we all chatted as a group, which kept the mood light. On Saturday, my brother and his fiancée visited. We played games together. My partner was talkative and seemed a lot more energetic and like his normal self. This was the first time we had a proper cuddle and that he asked me how I was doing. Sunday, his mom visited for the first time and I joined them. Today is Monday, a bank holiday in the UK. Yesterday he said that he appreciated me going up and that I didn't have to. He wanted me to live my life, so I said that I might have today off. This morning he said that his grandparents will be visiting in the afternoon, so I make some plans by myself to have a relaxing afternoon to hopefully feel recharged for tomorrow. At 4:30 p.m., I get a text asking what time I'm coming up and if I can bring him a burger. I explained that I thought we agreed for me to have the day off, but that I can bring him a burger if he really wants one. He responded with, "Up to you. I would love a burger, but if you got the plans, then don't worry." I found it really hard not to just agree to do it. But going to the burger place is nearly an hour walk and I wanted to unwind for the day. I respond exactly this and that I want to start making my dinner, but that I will visit him tomorrow and bring one. Then I get the messages. Right, don't know how to respond to that. See you later. Don't worry about coming up tomorrow. I tried calling him. He blocks my call and I get no need to call, not much to say. Too late now, so enjoy your evening. Am I the bad guy? I thought we had agreed both verbally and we had sexted that I should have a night or two off. Both family, friends, and colleagues have been checking in with me and reminding me that I need to look after myself too. And this all I was trying to do.